As Russia continues its invasion of Ukraine by land and air, Vladimir Putin's official state news agencies and online allies have been waging their own campaign of information warfare. Their videos have racked up countless views online. But upon closer review and using open source resources available to us and our partners at the investigative collective Bellingcat, many of these videos can be debunked and proven to be hoaxes, revealing manufactured propaganda meant to vilify or demoralize Ukraine's government and military as they face attack from Russia. One of the first prominent suspect videos to pop up during the rising tension between Ukraine and Russia was this one, which allegedly shows members of the Ukrainian breakaway region known as the Donetsk People's Republic confronting Polish-speaking Ukrainian saboteurs whose goal was to blow up a chlorine tank in separatist-held territory. The incident was reported out by Russia's state-run TASS news agency and shared in pro-Russian circles on social media as a matter of fact, claiming that the footage was retrieved from the body of a dead soldier. But there are a few problems. Specifically, the EXIF metadata, which is essentially standard under-the-hood data stored in most images and videos, shows that the video was created February 8th, 10 days before it was released. The explosion sounds in the video are also suspect. This too has a clue hidden inside the original video's metadata, where there's a file name for another video. A quick search on YouTube reveals the same video, which shows a Finnish Defense Forces live-fire exercise recorded more than 10 years ago. Turns out, an explosion in that video very closely matches one of the explosions in the saboteur video. Russia's government has claimed Ukrainian aggression in a few other reports, including the supposed helmet cam footage showing an attack on Russia's Rostov Oblast, which borders eastern Ukraine. Russia claimed it killed 5 Ukrainian saboteurs in the operation, as well as destroyed 2 Ukrainian armored vehicles. Russian reporters ended up going to the scene after the fact, and another video showed Russian soldiers approaching and examining the destroyed vehicles. The only problem here is that the incident took place at the border where separatists-controlled territory meets Russia's territory. That'd mean Ukraine's military would have had to traverse around 25 miles of enemy territory before reaching Russia's border. The fires caused from the incident even appeared on NASA's Fire Information for Resource Management system, which uses satellites to track fires across the globe. There's also another issue. The vehicles used in this so-called incursion were BTR-70Ms, a type of armored personnel carrier that's not even in use by Ukraine's forces. Incidentally, the location of this video is the same place where Russia also claimed one of its border posts was destroyed by Ukrainian shelling. In a further case, from February 20th, a pro-Russian militia from Luhansk posted a video to its Telegram channel claiming to show a man in separatist-controlled territory whose leg had to be amputated after shelling by Ukrainian forces. This video includes an initial clip of a man on the ground allegedly at the scene of his injury. However, it's easily disprovable because the man's prosthesis is clearly visible in the initial clip, meaning that his leg had already been amputated. Later videos posted on some Telegram channels appeared to blur the prostheses in the initial clip. These weren't the only attempts from Russian state media to set up Ukraine as the aggressor in this war. One lingering question is what sort of impact Russia's information war has, both internationally and for its own population.
My impression is one potential narrative line was these war crimes tribunals or investigations or accusations of genocide, but none of this is getting any traction. Because I think we're well past the point where you're going to generate a lot of war enthusiasm in Russia. But that's past the point anyway, because the system is now so centralized towards Putin that the opinion of the public is now largely peripheral as to whether a war decision is going to be made or sustained. But by using these war crimes allegations and mirror imaging the language of European institutions or international institutions, you try to undermine the legitimacy. By simply saying, this is obviously fake what we're doing, but so is you, and this whole system is a lie, and everyone's out for himself, but actually you're exactly like us.
Just hours into Russia's invasion into Ukraine, Moscow's state media watchdog demanded that Russian media only cite official sources on developments in the war in Ukraine. The same sources which report these debunked cases at face value. That means fact checks of Russian messaging might not reach ordinary Russian viewers, says Anton Barbashin, the editorial director of Riddle, an online journal focused on Russian politics and society.
The vast majority of Russians do not know what debunking is. They only watch what is being shown to them on state channels. And the problem is now that the general attitude of society is anti-war. It was about domestic concerns, it was about inflation. I mean, it's not 2014. You see a lot of figures who are popular among the majority of Russians speaking up against war. They don't necessarily say that, look, Putin started a war against Ukraine. They're just saying, you know, we are against war.
История когда-нибудь рассудит и расставит все по своим местам.
This is bad, of course, for Kremlin propaganda because they are not framing this as war. They are framing this as a limited operation with the goal of protecting the NLR. Considering the development of Russian law with regards to protests, all of them, every single one of people protesting today are facing legal charges against them. I mean, it takes some guts to go out and protest.
These are only a few drops of the flood of disinformation that has come out so far. Our partners at Bellingcat have put together a public spreadsheet documenting the reported incidents leading up to the conflict. And both of us are keeping track of any civilian casualties coming out of the war. Knowing what events are real and which ones are more likely disinformation is important for understanding just how the situation continues to unfold across Ukraine, and how the Kremlin will continue to justify its illegal invasion of its neighbor.